Welcome to Module 2, Chapter 6, on the political and economic drivers of the circular economy. In this chapter, we will explore the essential forces that shape the adoption of circular economy practices around the world. The circular economy represents a shift from the traditional linear model of take, make, dispose, to a system focused on resource efficiency, waste reduction, and continuous reuse and recycling. This transition is not only influenced by consumer behavior and business innovation but is also significantly driven by government policies, international agreements, and economic incentives. Throughout this chapter, we will examine how these political and economic factors interact to promote sustainability and create new opportunities for growth. We will also look at real-world examples from countries such as India, Thailand, and those in Europe, to understand how different regions implement circular economy strategies. In this chapter we will cover a comprehensive overview of the political and economic forces that shape the adoption of the circular economy. We will begin by examining the various government policies, international agreements, and economic incentives that drive circular economy initiatives. Next, we will discuss specific regulations and agreements that promote circularity, followed by an exploration of the economic incentives that encourage businesses and consumers to adopt sustainable practices. We will then summarize the key political and economic drivers, before introducing the pestle analysis framework, which helps us understand the influence of regulatory frameworks and market mechanisms on resource efficiency and waste reduction. To bring these concepts to life, we will look at examples from Thailand, India, and Europe, focusing on the role of subsidies, taxes, and public-private partnerships in advancing circularity. The circular economy is a transformative approach that seeks to balance economic growth with environmental sustainability. Unlike the linear model, the circular economy emphasizes keeping resources in use for as long as possible, extracting maximum value, and then recovering and regenerating products and materials at the end of their service life. Political drivers play a crucial role in this transition, as government policies and international agreements set the framework for adopting circular practices worldwide. Economic incentives, such as subsidies, taxes, and public-private partnerships, further encourage businesses and consumers to embrace resource efficiency and waste reduction. The pestle analysis framework is a valuable tool for understanding how regulatory and market influences shape the adoption of circular economy principles. By examining global examples from India, Thailand, and Europe, we can see how diverse political and economic contexts contribute to the advancement of circularity. These drivers collectively create an environment where sustainable practices can flourish, benefiting both the economy and the environment. The shift to a circular economy requires a fundamental change in how we use resources. Government policies are essential in promoting environmental sustainability by encouraging waste reduction and resource efficiency. These policies often include regulations, standards, and incentives that guide businesses and individuals toward more sustainable practices. International agreements play a vital role by fostering global collaboration, ensuring that circular economy initiatives are integrated across nations and not limited by borders. Economic incentives, such as tax benefits, subsidies, and grants, motivate both businesses and consumers to adopt sustainable practices. These incentives help lower the financial barriers to implementing circular economy solutions, making it easier for organizations to invest in resource-efficient technologies and processes. Together, these elements create a supportive framework that drives the adoption of circular economy principles on a global scale. National governments are at the forefront of promoting the circular economy through a variety of policies, regulations, and incentives. They implement waste management laws that require responsible disposal and recycling of materials, extended producer responsibility laws that hold manufacturers accountable for the entire life cycle of their products, and eco-design standards that encourage the creation of sustainable products from the outset. Countries such as those in the European Union, France, Germany, and the Netherlands have developed proactive strategies that serve as models for others. India and Thailand have also integrated circular economy principles into their national policies, demonstrating a commitment to sustainable growth. These government-led efforts are crucial for creating the regulatory environment needed to support the transition from linear to circular systems, ensuring that sustainability becomes a core aspect of economic development. European Union Circular Economy Action Plan is a leading example of how policy can drive circularity. This plan promotes resource efficiency and sustainable product design through updated regulations that encourage recycling and innovation. The Netherlands has set ambitious goals, aiming for full circularity by 2050 and focusing on sustainable production and business innovation. India's national resource efficiency policy encourages eco-design, waste reduction, and recycling across multiple sectors, supporting a shift toward more sustainable practices. Thailand's bio-circular green model integrates bioeconomy, circular economy, and green principles to promote sustainable growth across agriculture, manufacturing, and energy. These examples illustrate how different countries tailor their policies to address their unique challenges and opportunities, all while advancing the principles of the circular economy. Thailand's circular economy policy framework is designed to promote sustainable resource use through a comprehensive set of strategies. The 13th National Economic and Social Plan focuses on resource efficiency and sustainability, while the 20-year pollution management strategy targets pollution reduction and the adoption of circular practices. The 20-year master plan for waste management emphasizes waste reduction, recycling, and reuse, and the roadmap for plastic waste management aims to phase out single-use plastics and promote recycling. The bio-circular green policy integrates circular economy principles across industries, supporting Thailand's sustainability goals. This framework is guided by a status quo analysis that assesses current economic and environmental practices, ensuring that policies are aligned with the country's long-term vision for sustainable development. Regulations are a powerful tool for advancing the circular economy. The European Union's Waste Framework Directive prioritizes waste prevention and mandates preparation for reuse, setting a strong foundation for circularity. The Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive ensures the collection, recycling, and recovery of electronic waste, reducing environmental impact and promoting resource recovery. In Germany, the Packaging Act enforces extended producer responsibility, requiring companies to manage the disposal of packaging materials in an environmentally friendly way. France and India have implemented bans or restrictions on single-use plastics, encouraging the development of alternatives and supporting more sustainable production and consumption patterns. Thailand's regulations require manufacturers to take responsibility for collecting and recycling plastic products, further improving recycling rates and reducing plastic pollution. International agreements play a crucial role in accelerating the adoption of circular economy principles. The Paris Agreement promotes carbon reduction and environmental protection, indirectly supporting the circular economy by encouraging countries to adopt sustainable practices. Sustainable Development Goal 12 directly aligns with circular economy principles by fostering sustainable consumption and production on a global scale. Trade agreements increasingly include sustainability criteria, pushing countries to implement policies that enhance resource efficiency and environmental protection. These international frameworks create a shared vision and set of standards that guide national policies, ensuring that efforts to advance the circular economy are coordinated and effective across borders. Economic incentives are essential for encouraging the adoption of circular economy practices. Tax benefits reduce the financial burden on businesses, making it more attractive to invest in sustainable production and waste management. Subsidies and grants provide direct support for projects that promote resource recovery and recycling. Green bonds offer a way to finance circular economy initiatives, attracting investment in sustainable development. These incentives help create a favorable environment for businesses and individuals to transition to circular models, supporting innovation and the development of new markets for sustainable products and services. Different countries have implemented a range of economic incentives to promote the circular economy. The European Union encourages green public procurement, prioritizing products made from recycled materials in public sector purchasing. In the United States, states like California offer tax credits to support investments in recycling infrastructure. China provides tax reductions and subsidies for businesses that comply with extended producer responsibility regulations. India's Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana scheme offers microfinancing and loans to small businesses adopting circular practices. Thailand incentivizes green industry certification with tax reductions for meeting sustainability standards. The United Kingdom uses landfill tax incentives to reward businesses that reduce waste sent to landfills. These examples demonstrate how economic incentives can be tailored to support circular economy goals in different contexts. Government policies, international agreements, and economic incentives are the primary drivers of the transition to a circular economy. Government policies create the regulatory environment needed to promote sustainability and resource efficiency. International agreements foster global cooperation, ensuring that circular economy initiatives are aligned across countries. Economic incentives stimulate investment and innovation, making it easier for businesses to adopt sustainable practices. Together, these drivers create a supportive ecosystem that enables the circular economy to flourish, addressing global challenges and creating new opportunities for economic growth and environmental protection. The PESTEL framework is a valuable tool for analyzing the external factors that influence businesses and sustainability efforts worldwide. It examines 6 key dimensions: political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. By understanding how these factors interact, organizations can better anticipate challenges and opportunities related to resource efficiency and waste reduction. The PESTEL framework helps identify the regulatory and market mechanisms that shape the adoption of circular economy practices, providing a comprehensive view of the forces that drive sustainability at both the national and global levels. Political factors include government policies, stability, and regulations that impact businesses and society. Economic factors refer to market conditions, inflation rates, and economic growth, all of which influence business decisions and the adoption of sustainable practices. Social factors encompass demographics, cultural trends, and societal values that affect consumer behavior and demand for sustainable products. Technological factors involve innovation, research and development, and the adoption of new technologies that enable more efficient resource use. Environmental factors address issues such as climate change, resource depletion, and ecological concerns, driving the need for sustainable practices. Legal factors include laws, regulations, and legal frameworks that set standards for business operations and ensure compliance with sustainability goals. Together, these factors provide a holistic view of the environment in which circular economy initiatives are implemented. Political influence is seen in government policies that encourage waste reduction and resource efficiency through regulations and trade policies. Economic incentives, such as carbon pricing and landfill taxes, make waste reduction profitable and promote innovation in green technologies. Social demand for sustainable products and advocacy by social movements drive businesses to adopt resource-efficient practices. Technological advancements in materials, recycling, and the Internet of Things enable better resource tracking and closed-loop production systems. Environmental drivers, including climate change and resource depletion, lead to stricter regulations that push industries towards sustainability. Legal frameworks set waste management standards and create financial incentives for adopting resource-efficient practices. By analyzing these factors, organizations can develop strategies that align with the broader context of sustainability and circular economy goals. Thailand supports circular economy innovation through funding and incentives provided by agencies such as the Thailand Research Fund and the National Science and Technology Development Agency. India's Swachh Bharat and Smart Cities initiatives promote waste reduction and resource optimization, integrating circular economy elements into national development strategies. Europe fosters circularity through public-private partnerships, such as the Circular Textile Valley project, which supports sustainable business practices through funding and collaboration. These examples illustrate how subsidies, taxes, and partnerships can be tailored to advance circular economy goals in different countries, supporting innovation and the adoption of sustainable practices across sectors. Political support and economic conditions are critical to the success of circular economy initiatives in different countries. Local governments face challenges in aligning their policies with global sustainability goals, often needing to balance local priorities with international commitments. Economic contexts, such as resource availability and market dynamics, shape the feasibility and potential for successful circular economy implementation. These discussion questions encourage you to think critically about the factors that determine the effectiveness of circular economy strategies and the challenges involved in creating cohesive, sustainable systems at both the local and global levels. Thank you for your attention throughout this chapter. We have explored the political and economic drivers of the circular economy, examined real-world examples, and discussed the frameworks and incentives that support sustainable development. We look forward to welcoming you to the next chapter.